founders were looking for the kind of Goldilocks spot. Like they wanted the Constitution to be difficult to amend. They wanted a stable fundamental law, but they didn't want it to be impossible to amend because they really believed in this idea of improvement. Amending has the same root as the word mending. Like, you get a tear in your raincoat and you're going to, put duct tape over, you're going to mend it. You break your carburetor, you're going to fix it. You get a hole in your tire, you're going to patch it. Like mending, like they believed in repair. They thought of the Constitution as a machine. Machines break down all the time. They wanted it to be possible to fix it. Article 5, provision of the Constitution, which is a provision for amendment, was the most important part of the Constitution, because without it, the Constitution never would have been ratified. It was the one thing that anti-federalists were happy about. Oh, at least we can fix it. And you know what we're going to do? The first thing we're going to do, we're going to demand a Bill of Rights. And they felt like they fixed it enough to accept it. So the fixability, the improvability, the repairability, the mendability of the Constitution was in some ways the genius of the document. If you're going to write something down, you really want to be able to make some adjustments over time. They expected it to be hard, but they expected it to be totally doable. In fact, they did it, 12 times before 1804 or whatever, right? The first 12 amendments happened pretty fast. What they didn't anticipate was the emergence of the party system. There were no political parties at the time. Americans universally perceived, they didn't call them parties, they called them factions. They conceived of them as terrible, like a disease on the body politic. Political parties emerged by the end of the 1790s, really early, and they certainly could not have perceived of polarization, the kind of polarization in the United States that really starts in the late 1960s, early 1970s. So to amend the Constitution, you need a double supermajority. It's not like just like a law like that we'd have to get like a majority of people to vote for, either by way of ratification or, a congressional vote. You need a 2/3 majority in both houses. And then when the amendment, if it passes Congress, goes to the states, 3/4 of the states need to ratify it. It's a high bar. It's not impossible, but it is impossible when Congress can't pass a budget, when Congress can't agree on, basic matters of good government work. So with rising polarization starting in the late 1960s, Article 5 amendments became effectively impossible, but it is now really the only way to change the Constitution.